also made that the Indians could have an example of what to do in the future, not only in Uruguay, but in the whole of South America. Why? Because TCS started in Uruguay, but it spread to the whole continent. That meant they used Uruguay as a hub. This is what we want Indians to understand. And we want them to understand that we are a small country, that we can also project ourselves to the rest of the continent. It's a market of practically more than 600 million people altogether, but you only have from Mercosur 300 million. And that's where all is important to understand, that the country not only has the potential because we have a free airport, we have free harbor, and we have 14 free zones. Especially, Tata has established itself in one of those free zones in the outskirts of Montevideo in Uruguay. And we expect that more businessmen get to do that in Uruguay, because we offer all the advantages, and there are many opportunities to look at, because we are confident that India is also looking more towards our region, and we want that to happen. We are very glad and we celebrate that India is opening an embassy this year in Uruguay, and we have been left for a long time in the back side. But we recognize that as India has progressed, as it turned itself into a global player, we are a very interesting place also where India can expand its projection in South America. And with that, we want them to see the advantages that we give them, because it's not only the free zones, it's a special treatment in what has to do with business. That means tax exemptions, that means facilities in order to have logistical places where to invest, and at the same time giving them the chance that we have a very free financial market. That means you can exchange dollars, you can exchange euros, you can exchange pesos, and that's not very easy to find in the region. Unfortunately, in some other countries, the central bank has a lot of control over capital. But we do not control that. We let the freedom of movement of money, and your income and your revenues, you can bring them back to India. So that is another great advantage. As we see, and it's a great disadvantage for most of our countries now, is the fact that the connectivity with South America is extremely bad. You look at the flying maps of most Indian airlines, none of them touch in South America. We are hoping that there is a possibility of having a frequency, direct frequency from Delhi or from Mumbai to any of our countries in South America. We expect that to be either with Mexico, Peru, Argentina, or Brazil. So we need to enhance that. We know that there are not so many Indians maybe living in most of our countries. Some do have bigger immigrations, but others not that big. So we need to encourage that connection. We need to encourage the possibility of doing business in a much active way. Peru, I understand, has already done so with the port of Chancay, and that will shorten the time of traveling from South America to Asia, especially to India. And it's going to be something that around 20 days, if I'm not mistaken. So it's important that there is already an infrastructure that is helping to achieve that goal. So there are just opportunities and interesting perspectives to start, putting and turning on the motor in order to do things with us. And I think that India has realized that we are very interesting partners, that it's markets that give interesting revenues. So the next frontier for India practically is in South America. Politically, we need to give more relationship in the case of Uruguay. Since 1968, there has been no Prime Minister of India visiting our country. I think that's way long time. So we need to encourage that. We are very responsive to the fact that we would have the first president of Uruguay. No president has ever come to India. We would like that to happen soon. And we are very much optimistic that all this panorama of different possibilities in enlarging our relationship will finally take place. That's why what you said at the beginning of the description of the country as very open, we want to have open economies. We believe in free market. And we are also democracies, that we share the political view in which we stand together to resolve most of the problems of humanity. In that sense, Uruguay stands very close to India. We are supporting the fact that India is applying as a permanent member of the Security Council. And we are also together in many development goals, and at the same time seeing the world in the developing process in a similar way. So I'm very optimistic that especially the private sector, and that involves you in particular, can engage more and can look more at us. For example, many people don't know that Uruguay is the second country that has adopted renewable energies in the world. The first is Denmark. And we are doing lots of things in that sense. We have a very prospective and interesting way of looking at the future challenges. And we are ready to expand and do more things together. So I find that this is a great moment, and a moment that needs that people like you look more at our countries, especially seeing that the opportunities that we give are authentic and that give you also interesting revenues. So there's nothing best than just to look at us and be confident that you will be the motor of that new beginning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very well said. When we talk about the export opportunities to India from the Uruguay, we have a great opportunities in the food processing machinery. Very well mentioned about the packaging solutions and cold chain equipment and the renewable energy system. And when we talk about the import opportunities to India from Uruguay, it's about in the agricultural sector, the dairy and meat. So with that note, thank you very much. And now we are moving ahead with next, Peru. My question to you is that, from the Pacific Trade Corridor perspective, how easy is it for the Vidarbha region, India SMEs, to enter the Peruvian market? Simultaneously, Vidarbha companies offer mining spares, EPC services, and renewable solution and agro export. So which of these are the opportunities area for Peru? Over to you, sir.
Thank you for your question. I would like first to thank the organizer of this important summit. In terms of the mining sector, I must say that Peru is one of the most important mining countries in the world. For instance, in the energy transition process, we have silver. We export the second in the world, copper the third, and we just discovered a lot of lithium. In fact, in silver, only Peru has the 20% of reserves in the world. That means there is huge opportunities from India, especially from Maharashtra and Nagpur, to start to organize some business in the mining sector. Even our trade balance is growing almost 20% every year. Last year, 2025, in both directions, Peru and India, the trade balance is $7 billion. And within this amount, $5 billion we sold gold to India. India is our first buyer of gold in our country. Second is Canada, and third, Switzerland. That means that the mining sector is gold opportunities for India. Of course, we have huge companies, but as well as small and medium enterprises in the mining sector. And if you have, for instance, machineries for the mining sector, spare parts and so on, we are willing, of course, to receive some delegation from India to Peru in this particular sector. Another important issue is that Peru and India, we are negotiating a free trade agreement. We are in the 10th round of negotiations. We expect to finalize this process in the middle of this year. And that means a lot of advantages to have a free trade agreement. By the way, Peru has 60 free trade agreements with 60 countries in the world. That means the economy of Peru is quite open. As mentioned, our distinguished coordinator for GRUL, ambassador of Uruguay, Peru has a very open economy in every sector. Just to put an example, you can draw dollars from any ATM in our country. A part of our currency is sold. You go to any ATM, withdraw dollars and soles, any part of the world. That means that our economy is quite open, and we have a very strong foundation in macroeconomic terms. And this is an advantage for any entrepreneur, Indian entrepreneur who wanted to go to Peru, because they can open a bank account almost in one day without any problem. You can take the profits without any regulations back to India, and so on. And this is why it's so important that and this is the reason why the trade is increasing. Even the investment from India to Peru is increasing every year around 20%, as I mentioned. I would like to stop here to have the opportunity to other fellow colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And when we mention about the Peru offers the significant economic opportunities driven by its role as a leading global mining exporter in the category of copper, gold, and zinc, and the fastest growing agribusiness sector in blueberries, avocados, and with 22 free trade agreements. So thank you very much. And now we are moving ahead with Brazil. Okay. My question to you is, Brazil is a large and complex market. What entry approach would you recommend for SMEs from Vidarbha region, India, to succeed here? Simultaneously, Vidarbha sectors such as agro-processing, pharmaceuticals, engineering goods, and chemicals and packaging, which align best with Brazil's current demand.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizers of this event for hosting us here. They've been very generous. We've had the opportunity of talking to local businessmen, and this has been very enlightening. Now, specifically about opportunities in Brazil. Brazil is a relatively large country. It's economically and geographically. We have many opportunities in various sectors. I would understand offhand that there are many opportunities for Indian companies to establish themselves, be them in the small and medium-sized enterprises and larger enterprises also, in various sectors. We are very much welcoming companies which are linked to the pharma sector, to the medical sector as a whole, to the vaccination sectors. Those are very big opportunities for Indian companies, and principally in small and medium-sized companies specifically. Now, as far as Brazilian companies are concerned, we have been developing our relations, our trade relations with India, but we are still very much, let's say, in the initial phases of our bilateral relationship. Politically, we are very enthused with all the frequent visits that your government has paid to Brazil, and vice versa. Brazil has been coming to India on a very frequent basis. But so far, this common understanding on the political arena has led to macro projects between our two countries. Interestingly enough, I'll give you some statistics. When I first came to India in 2003, bilateral trade between our two countries was roughly around $3 billion. Now, last year's statistics confirmed that our bilateral relationship is at $15 billion at this point. That's two-way trade, okay? Most of the products that we sell to the Indian market are the result of commodities being sent, both mineral and including petroleum, of course, and linked to agriculture. Okay, most of our products are in that category. On the other hand, most of the products being exported from India to Brazil are products which are linked to higher value added products. Of course, TCS is also in Brazil, Wipro, Infosys, and so on. But a lot of companies operating in Brazil are linked to the mining sector, are linked to the pharma sector, and many more are coming. We'd like to shift a little bit the tack that we are having with the Indian market. We'd like to increasingly bring small and medium-sized companies from Brazil to do business with your small and medium-sized companies. Just recently, not too long ago, a month and a half ago, I participated in a trade fair in Mumbai that is called Cosmoprof. I think it's an Italian trade fair organizer, but I had the privilege of hosting 15 Brazilian hair product companies trying to sell to the Indian market. So this gives you an idea of opportunities that you might have in Brazil likewise. The consumers are demanding, but we are very much open to products coming from India. In the pharma sector, India is worldwide renowned for its quality of its products. And also, curiously enough, in the cosmetics sector, for example, there is, I would call it a tribe, a group of people in Brazil who are very big in practicing yoga. So these millions of Brazilians who practice yoga are very, very receptive for everything that is made in India, because somehow they associate their new philosophy towards life brought by yoga to us. So when they go to the supermarket, instead of buying products from Jesse Lever or from Unilever from the UK, they will prefer to buy Himalayan labeled products and so on, which they find which are more, let's say, they can relate better to this type of product. So I would like to welcome you to come to Brazil. My recommendation is that you try to identify what is the best trade fair which is somehow linked to your sector. Visit the fair, talk to the Brazilian companies, talk to the services company linked to that sector, and then from then onwards, do technical visits to the various parts of Brazil. Most of the trade fairs in Brazil, of course, are located in the city of São Paulo, which is a mixture of New Delhi and Mumbai. It's the industrial hub of Brazil. And yes, we have the challenge of bringing one of the airlines from either India and Brazil to do a flight which will not be direct, but via some airport in Africa or in Europe to India. But we need to do this. China has already done this. They have a flight coming out of Beijing via Madrid into Brazil. It's a daily flight. It's a long flight, but people don't have to leave the plane in Madrid, and they can continue their flight up to São Paulo. So thank you again for this opportunity, and thank you very much for speaking to you on this topic. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and very well mentioned about the Brazilian yoga market is projected to reach 7.57 trillion USD by 2030 and growing at a steady annual rate of 9.5%. When we talk about the growing relation of India and Brazil, Brazil represents significant strategic and commercial opportunities for India, acting as a gateway to the Latin America market and a key partner in the global south. Thank you very much. And now we are moving ahead with Guyana. Okay, my question is, Guyana is one of the fastest growing economies in the region. From your perspective, how easy it is for the SMEs from Vidarbha, India, to enter the Guyana market today? When we talk about Vidarbha, it has a strong capabilities in engineering goods, EPC services, pipes, power, equipment, and agro-processing. Which of these are the most relevant to Guyana's current growth needs? Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. Like my colleagues, I want to express the appreciation and gratitude of the High Commission of Guyana, the people of Guyana, for being invited here to participate in this business conclave. Our stay here has been very good so far, and we have all been assigned some very enthusiastic volunteers to assist us around the place, and I want to say thank you for them. Guyana is a small economy, indeed is the fastest growing economy currently, as a small economy. And India is acknowledged to be the fastest growing major economy.
Yeah.
And I say this based on an average of 30% growth rate over the last 5 years. And actually in 1 year, in 2022, our economy grew by 62%. For the next 5 years, the IMF has projected that Guyana will be growing at a rate of 15% for the next 5 years, and that is by the IMF itself. Guyana has enjoyed long historical ties with India. The first people of Indian origin arrived in Guyana 188 years ago. They would have set sail here in January of 1838 and arrived in May 1830, a journey of almost 5 months. And today I take this opportunity to invite you now to travel to Guyana, and instead of 5 months, you can be in Guyana in a matter of between 18 to 20 hours. Via KLM, 3 flights weekly, and there is no need for a third country visa, because with KLM, you go from 3 ports in India to Amsterdam, then either directly to Guyana or to a country in the Caribbean, then you transit to Guyana without the requirement of either a Schengen visa or a North American visa, whether it's US, Canada, or Canada. And in terms of access, our market is small, but it is growing rapidly. Guyana is a destination for small and medium-sized enterprises. We concentrate primarily in areas of food security, energy security, climate security. For Indian business people, we have, you'll feel very much welcome there because of the advantage we have. First of all, our population consists of almost 40% people of Indian origin. As I said, we are English speaking. We can be a gateway to CARICOM market. We can also be a gateway to markets in Latin America, including the huge market of Brazil itself. We have found oil, discovered oil in 2015. We started producing oil in 2019, and we moved from 0 in 2019 to right now in 2026, about 900,000 barrels per day. And in 2 years' time, we will achieve a production of about 1.7 million barrels per day. So with this rapid growth in oil production, the proceeds from that we are using to invest in infrastructure, different types of infrastructure, energy infrastructure, education infrastructure, medical infrastructure, transportation infrastructure, renewable energy infrastructure. And currently we have more than 30 companies from India operating in Guyana in these different areas. In transportation, in energy, in agro-processing, renewable energy. This is in Guyana. Our Trust for Renewable is basically commandeered by companies of Indian origin. So we are able to offer an investment climate that is attractive, given various incentives to companies depending on the areas of investment. I'm also happy to say that we have 2 Indian-owned universities that specializes in the medical program. And I'm also happy to say about 80% of each of these universities comprises of people from India, students from India. Likewise, we have a robust exchange program with students from Guyana coming to study here in India. Our current president, would have also studied here in India. And with the time he would have spent in India, most of his development policies, programs, have a strong Indian influence. And to this end, Indian companies, especially the small, medium enterprises companies, will find Guyana a welcoming environment for investment in the different areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. When we talk about the perspective of the Guyana, presents significant multi-sectoral opportunities for India, driven by Guyana's rapid transformation into major global oil producer. A large Indian diaspora and shared developmental goals in the global south. As India seeks to diversify its energy sources and strengthen its presence in the Caribbean, Guyana has emerged as a key strategic partner to it. Thank you very much. And now we are moving ahead with Bolivia. My question to you is that Bolivia is known for its rich minerals resources and a growing industrial focus. From your perspective, how easy is it for SMEs from Vidarbha, India to enter Bolivia market? Simultaneously, Vidarbha has strong capabilities in engineering goods, mining equipment, EPC services, power system, and agro processing. So which of these sectors offer the most immediate opportunities in Bolivia? Over to you.
First of all, I want to thank you, the organizer of this summit. Thank you to the ambassadors and diplomats of Latin America region and Caribbean. Bolivia is located in the center of South America. So like this beautiful city is located in the center of India, we have a strategic location in the center of our continent. And also we offer to the Indian investors, Indian enterprises, a good opportunity to enter not only the Bolivian market, but also with our strategic location, you can move through our neighbors, Brazil, Peru, Chile, Argentina, Paraguay. So also we offer, as you mentioned, very large opportunities in the mining sector. We have the biggest lithium reserves in the world. Also, we have rare minerals, we have gold, silver. Right now, India is our second market in gold. So we are very interested in Indian enterprises who wants to invest in Bolivia, especially in mining machinery, mining technology. Also, we are searching for partners, joint ventures, also in government projects based in clean energies, in technology. IT also is good opportunity for Indian enterprises to enter in the Bolivian market because India is a reference in that field. Right now, the pharmaceutical business in India has a strong presence in Bolivia. We have a big presence of Indian enterprises there that now are selling a huge amount of pharmaceutical products. Normally, the best way to enter in the Bolivian market is through government projects and joint ventures. Also, I want to thank our ambassador of Uruguay because he mentioned the connectivity. It's really important for us because right now we are pushing as a guerrilla group to have more direct flights between India and South America. It will be a huge opportunity for us, for Indians too, to have this connectivity, to have more options to arrive to our region. And finally, I want to thank all the public present, and I invite you to invest in Bolivia, to visit my country, and to discover all the opportunities that you have in our region.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for such a great, and definitely we will mention about the export opportunities from India into the sector of the mining equipment and EPC and power and energy system processing machinery. And when we talk about the import opportunities to India from Bolivia, that can be the mining, definitely lithium. Thank you very much. And now we are moving ahead to next, El Salvador. Okay. Set? Okay. My question to you is, El Salvador plays a role in nearshoring and US-linked supply chains. How can Vidarbha, India SMEs practically plug into the system?
Thank you very much for your question. I really would like to introduce or give a little bit more information about my country. So we are in Central America. I'm the only representative of Central America right now. We are very close to the U.S. and we are in a strategic location through, to the whole continent of the Americas. So we play a key role in logistics and also in supply chain and nearshoring. So we have a really young population, which most of them can speak English, and we provide a lot of services to the U.S. and to European countries. We know that a lot of companies from India are invested in the U.S., also in Brazil, also in the U.S. as well, in Mexico, in Chile, and so on. So I think El Salvador, it's providing a huge opportunity to Indian companies to provide services from my country. We are not a huge country. We are just 21,000 square kilometers. We are just 20 times bigger than Delhi, actually. We are just 6.2 million of people. So you can see it as a small country, but actually we provide access to key markets. We have a lot of free trade agreements which provide access to 1.2 billion population. Just in Central America, we provide services to 55 million market in Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, Panama, Nicaragua as well. So I invite you to take a look at Central America as well as access for your products, for your services. We are very well connected to our neighboring countries. We are number one in connectivity when it comes to roads and logistics. So please take a look at small countries as well, where markets are not that crowded like in other countries. So that's one of my inputs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. When we talk about the perspective of the El Salvador, presents significant emerging opportunities for India, driven by its strategic location near the US, market of pro-business environment, and a desire to diversify its trade partners. Key areas of opportunities include nearshoring for IT, BPO, very well mentioned about the manufacturing, renewable energy, and pharmaceutical sector. Thank you very much. And now we are moving ahead with Suriname. Okay. My question to you is that, with its resource-based economy, how open it is to SMEs from Vidarbha, India? Simultaneously, Vidarbha has a strength in its mining inputs, construction materials, power equipments, and utilities. Where does Suriname see immediate requirements? Thank you very much.
Thank you for the question, Ms. Rashu of Charu.
Thank you very much.
First of all, good afternoon, distinguished ambassador, high commissioners, and diplomats, respected ladies and gentlemen. So, coming up to your question, our country, just a short introduction about my country. We are a small country. We have only 6 lakh people in our country. So we heavily support SMA. That is actually the only economy that we have to boost. And coming up with India, we have the agriculture process. Wait a second. Yes, we recently have the granted project from India, which is the passion fruit technologies by India. And being in Nagpur, I have heard that Nagpur is the orange city of India. So we can also implement orange implementation in Suriname. And coming up by mining, we are now boosting in the offshore development. So we need the logistics and the technologies, of course, and we see forward to have some technologies and knowledges from India as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now we are moving ahead with Mexico. Okay. My question to you, Mexico is seen as a manufacturing bridge to the US. How can Vidarbha, India's SMEs, integrate into these North American supply chains simultaneously? Vidarbha produce auto components, engineering parts, electronics inputs, and industrial goods. Where do these best fit into Mexico?
Namaskar, good afternoon, buenas tardes. That's the only Hindi word that I know. So thank you very much for your question. So Mexico has positioned itself by being a manufacturing hub to enter to the whole North America market, but also as a market as itself. We're talking about 120 million people, at least in Mexico, plus the 15 million people that we have in the US. And of course, if you produce in Mexico, your products can be in the US and even in Canada in even 24 hours. In the case of Northern Canada, it will be a matter of 48 hours by road. So there's a lot of opportunities that we can have between India and Mexico. And actually, I'm very excited to be here because I just knew that the IT engineers are very good here in Nagpur. And there are a lot of IT companies establishing themselves in Mexico, especially establishing delivery centers in Mexico. So we have TCS, Infosys, Soho, Siltec, but we're also receiving a lot of startups that want to try their models first in Mexico and then to enter the whole North American market and also Latin America. And with this part, my suggestion would be you can be a great supplier for tier 2, tier 3 products, engineering, biotechnology, also auto industry. And as you already know, like India is one of the major auto producers in the world. I think you're in the 6th position or 7th. Also Mexico is between the 5th to the 6th position. And we actually don't compete because if you see our bilateral trade, that is around $10 billion between Mexico and India. We are the second largest trading partner of India in Latin America. We export auto parts to India, but we also import auto parts for the OEMs that are established in Mexico, and eventually they move their products to the US and Canada with a lot of incentives. So basically, also if you produce in Mexico and at least, like let's say the auto industry, at least if you have 70% of the production in Mexico, you can enter to the US market and also the Canadian market without paying major tariffs. So that's one of the advantages. And we also produce auto parts in India. We have a joint venture between Tata Autocon and Catcon, that is a Mexican company. And they do Indian Mexican products here in Pune. That is not that far away from here. And also, I just realized that there's a Cinépolis movie theater here. So if you go to, I think it's Trimall, the Trimall area here, you can go to the cinema. You have PVR, that is the major national movie theater. We have in Mexico Cinépolis. Cinépolis is a Mexican brand, and they have cinema theaters all over India, including here in Nagpur. So I'm pretty sure there are a lot of things that we can see in our collaboration. So thank you very much for this invitation.
Thank you very much. My next question is to Sushil Sharma, Shamlex Metachem Private Limited. My question is to you that what are the export opportunities in Vidarbha simultaneously to the Latin America?
Thank you, ma'am. First of all, good afternoon to all the delegates and particularly the ambassadors of various countries. I represent as a national president of Foundry Association of India with headquarters at Kolkata. I am based at Nagpur. I look forward to number of opportunities for our members at national level and from Vidarbha, particularly for countries like Uruguay, who have got, you mentioned that you have got windmill renewable energy. So for the country like Uruguay, you can have definitely the opportunity from India to have the windmill castings. Peru which is having the rich mineral resources, lot of mining activities. Mining mill liners, mining castings are one of the another product basically which we look forward from India. Well, friends, let me tell you that India is the second largest producer of castings in world after China. China produces 55 million tons and India 15 million tons, while Brazil produces around 2 million tons and Mexico is there. So India ranks second in the world of producing quality castings, and with the world procurement shifting from China to other countries, India has got a lot of opportunities, particularly for the casting procurement. One of our member, Bradcan India, has already put up a plant in Peru to supply to the mining industry. Similarly is Brazil, which is an upcoming country in the steel foundries. So the opportunities, particularly for the companies from Vidarbha to export foundry chemicals for a company like mine, that is Shamlex Metacare. Mexico, as I said, another upcoming country with the casting manufacturing, they are also going very fast in the casting production. So they are competing with India, and joint venture opportunities was there for my company in the Giefer, Germany, for the one of the company from Mexico, and somehow it could not happen, but we look forward to basically exporting of foundry chemicals. Another opportunity for the industries in Vidarbha is to supply water pipelines and pipe fittings, which is one of the requirement in all these countries for the water supply pipelines. So I really look forward to having a good opportunity for the Vidarbha industries and industries in general over India to have export opportunities. And particularly from the mineral rich countries, I don't know, you have not mentioned about whether the zircon mineral is available in your country, because in the previous session, one of the country was having, Senegal was having a zircon mineral rich country. So opportunity from a country like Senegal, we can have zircon import to our country. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And definitely we will see it out, all these things. Next, I would like to invite the representative of AID, Udyan Gurkutia. Over to you, sir.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone, and good afternoon to all the delegates and the ambassadors present here. It's a warm welcome and a great pleasure to have a discussion like this with respect to the Latin America and Indian possibilities of trade and business investments. I'll just give a brief introduction about myself, because that would be required for the discussion which we can have with respect to the trade investment. We are basically a manufacturing of ferroalloys. We produce ferroalloys from the critical minerals. And one of the critical minerals is molybdenum and vanadium. Now these molybdenum and vanadium, Mexico and Peru has a huge resource and deposits of molybdenum ore plus copper ore. So India isn't at the moment, does not have its own deposits, or the deposits have not been explored yet with respect to molybdenum. India's demand for molybdenum is increasing every year, and because India does not have its own deposit, we are 100% dependent on the imports, and the mainly imports or the deposit rich countries are China, second number is Chile, third is Mexico, and then Peru. So being Mexico and Peru having its own resources, the technology and the base to supply, Vidarbha is the central hub of India, and the Vidarbha region itself contributes to around 40% of the production of molybdenum, ferromolybdenum for steel industries. So the idea was if Peru and Mexico can create its setup of producing these moly oxides from the deposits of molybdenum ore, then that can help investment into Vidarbha region, and the Vidarbha region can then produce the finished goods by themselves and serve the rest of the country, thereby increasing the consumption of these materials into the steel. So this is one of the biggest opportunities what we see for Peru and Mexico to invest into the Vidarbha region. Now, because it is centrally located, transportation is very easy and quite quicker compared to any part of the Indian region. And with respect to Brazil, Brazil is rich with iron ore and manganese ore. A very fine and high quality of iron ore and manganese ore is present in the Brazil in the form of minerals, which definitely India strive for. And if we have some kind of arrangement and trade relationships with respect to this, then it could be a great opportunity for the Indian market, for the Brazilian producers. And as you know, India is rich with, as Mr. Fadnavis said in the morning, that we are quite rich with improving with the pharmaceutical industry being centrally located now, and it's becoming a medical hub, as well as the IT sector, which we feel that is the cheapest in the world, especially in the medical sector, which can be a boost in terms of exchanging trade with Brazil, Chile, Mexico, and other Latin American countries. So this is where I feel that we can have a thought process and go deep down to explore investment opportunities between both the continents and the countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can we have a big round of applause for such a great panel discussion, everyone? Thank you, everyone. Now I request the representative of AIT and GIBF to please kindly come on the stage for the felicitation of our dignitaries. I request Ambassador of Uruguay, Mr. Alberto Egiani, to please kindly come forward. We are truly honored to have such a great insights from every single word that you mentioned about the trade and the opportunities that we have in this region. Ambassador of Peru to India, Mr. Javier, to please kindly come. Thank you very much. Ambassador of Peru to India, His Excellency Mr. Javier. Please come. Councillor General, Brazil, Jose Moro, to please kindly come. Thank you very much. The High Commissioner, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana to the Republic of India, His Excellency Mr. Dharam Kumar Siraj, to please kindly come. Thank you very much, Mr. Dharam Kumar Siraj. Charge d'Affaires of the plurinational state of Bolivia, Ms. Adlate Gabriel, to please kindly come. I request all the dignitaries to please kindly stay on a dais for a while being for a group photo. He's in a little hurry, I guess. Bolivia, to please kindly come forward. Economic Counselor, Embassy of El Salvador, Mr. Steven Ramirez. Economic Counselor, Embassy of El Salvador, Thank you very much for giving a big round of applause for such a great panel discussion, everyone. Commercial Attaché Embassy of the Republic of Suriname, Ms. Sadia Kumari. Thank you very much, Suriname. And at last, Head of Commercial and Tourism Affairs, Embassy of Mexico to India, Mr. Ricardo Daniel. Thank you very much. Now after this, we have a lunch and we will go ahead with the remaining 2 panel discussions after lunch. Thank you very much. And simultaneously, Bola, he's coming. And after that, you can go ahead with the B2B meetings, which is simultaneously will be going ahead with these 2 groups. Thank you very much.
किसको फोन? हाय
आप प्रशांत भैया के भाई हो गए? यस, ओके, आई कैन सी द